Just want to say a couple quick words in a short form about sugar. We need blood sugar to exist, and we need to take in these carbohydrates to get our energy. The energy comes from the hot electrons inside the carbohydrate, inside the sugar, the high energy electrons that are activated by the rays of the sun hitting the plant and making this compound. So what we actually have is that energy comes from the photons of the sun striking the plant, giving it energy through the process of photosynthesis that makes this high energy compound. And that's where we get our energy. Now what we found is that this sucrose, this type of right-handed dextrose, the sugar, is actually goes into the bloodstream too fast and thereby produces too much energy too fast, producing a hyperglycemia followed by a hypoglycemia. If we look back in history, the first existence of this sugar cane was in Persia, about 400 BC, and it was overconsumption of this sugar that they called sakalan. That's where we get the word saccharin from. And it was overconsumption of that weakened the Persian army and allowed Alexander the Great's army to swamp over them. When Alexander's men started to take it, the Greek Macedonian Empire was not long to live afterwards. They brought it back and eventually started getting into Italy. When it was sold in Italy and first really commercially made available, within a year, this white sugar made the immune system so weak that that was the cause of the Black Plague. That was the cause of the Black Plague. This white sugar is such a pure energy form that it goes into the bloodstream so fast, white blood cells have to run and hide. They go to the spleen and hide. So the problems of this white sugar is basically around its high glycemic index. The high glycemic index is the capacity of certain foods, and they produce such a high level of sugar in the blood that produces a stress on the pancreas, produces stress on the nerves, produces stress on the immune system, and creates all the different problems. If we have the left-handed sugar, which is more from the fruit, fructose, levulose, that left-handed sugar does not have the increase, the dramatic increase on the blood. It does not stress the pancreas. It does not create all those other different problems in the nerves. And we have a much more balanced type of sugar supplying a longer term of energy. So what we have to recognize is in our system of medicine, we want to avoid synthetics. We want to avoid all the synthetic foods. We want to avoid all the synthetic sugars, such as the high fructose corn syrup. That has to be avoided. It's an extreme synthetic compound. We have to avoid the synthetic sweeteners and all those other things because they have their neurological side effects and etc. And we want to avoid the high glycemic foods. Here's a list of the high glycemic foods that we need to avoid. When we eat these foods, we create stress on the pancreas, producing problems. Scientists have declared war on these high glycemic sugars And we need to recognize that that's for a reason. And you need to declare war on them yourselves. And you need to be able to recognize that by going into the lower types of natural lebulose sugars, fructose, and let fruits be your sugar. Get them from natural fruits. Don't get anything in a sweetened type of juice. Get natural 100% juice. And start to get your sweets from 100% nature, not the white sugars, the white flours, what we call the 4 deaths: white sugar, white flour, salt, and pork. If we can just do some of that, we can help to increase our health and deal with things a little better. This is Desiree Dubonnet with a short word about why to avoid white processed sugar.